Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spill the Creativity podcast. This is the very first solo episode that I'm recording in 2024, and I'm so happy to be back for good. Honestly, for good this time. I know you probably heard me say that a couple of times now, but really, I'm back for good. I swear. And with that, I have finally accepted the fact that a weekly podcast really does not fit my quote unquote lifestyle and my schedule. And so I've accepted that a weekly Thursday drop is really not doable for me. So from a weekly thing, we are shifting into a bi-weekly podcast episode. That way I won't leave you hanging if there's going to be an episode or not. You would know that every other Thursday, 8 a.m. on the dot, there's something for you to listen to. And yeah, that's also the reason why you're not hearing any intro and the reason why you're not going to hear any outro for this episode because I'm working on it. I have to re-record and remove the part that says fresh drops every Thursday morning because that's no longer the case. But anyway, I'm so excited because this year, especially for the podcast, I have finally decided to expand my horizons and, I'll be interviewing non-Filipino creatives. So this won't just be like a Filipino creative perspective kind of podcast. I've always wanted to know how it's like to be a creative in different countries and especially like how different cultures affect the creative industry and wherever they may be. So I've invited like different creatives from different countries. Some of the recordings have already happened, they haven't been edited yet, but yeah, that's something that I really look forward to, and I hope that's something that you would find really interesting because some of the conversations were really interesting and very different from the things that we are used to as Filipino creatives. I've always been so curious about how we can improve things as creatives here in the Philippines. Maybe we could pattern it into like how the best practices are in different countries. And I mean, like, it doesn't have to be like an industry change, like, it could be like how we deal with our own creative businesses. I don't know. I just really wanted that kind of conversation to be included in this online space. So yeah, that's why I did that. Anyway, this week I wanted to talk about something that I never wanted to admit. If you've known me in real life, I've always talked about how much I love being a remote worker. Like, I love being at home. I love getting to lie down anytime I want. I love that I get to cuddle with my dogs anytime I want. If I feel tired, I could just literally stop working, watch TV, do whatever the hell I want. But this week, I want to admit something that I've never really said out loud. And that is, I miss going to the office. Like, really, I miss having to choose what outfit to wear. I miss putting on my makeup. I miss choosing like the perfect shoes, the office appropriate shoes to wear for that day, choose which bag I'm gonna use. I used to carpool with an ex office mate. So that's also something that I really miss. We would choose a Spotify playlist depending on what mood we're in. Usually it's rage because we're always angry at something or at someone. And yeah, that was really fun. I mean, I don't miss the work, but I miss being surrounded with my people, with my favorite office friends. And okay, maybe the better way to say it is not me missing the office, but me missing my office besties. Like, I remember the times when I would go to the office early just so we can hang in the pantry, make coffee for like 15 to 30 minutes. Like, we were just stirring our cups while we talk about the most random stuff. It can be office related, it can be office gossip, or it can also be like outside stuff. And then we would wait for the clock to strike 12 whenever it's lunchtime so that we can go out and choose which restaurants we're going to go into. So I used to work in Santo Tomas, Batangas. So that's kind of like the province side of Batangas. And then we are so lucky because when you go out of the like facility, there are different eateries and small restaurants that you get to choose from, and they're really cheap. So there used to be this place that we go to whenever we feel like we needed to reward ourselves, or when we are angry, when the level of anger is so high that we feel like we need comfort food. We would go to this small restaurant that serves the best liempo and bulalo. and kapeng barako. And it's so cheap. Like you could even get refills for like bulalo soup or something like that. And then we wouldn't even, like reach 1,000 pesos. And there's like five of us that would go to lunch. And yeah, that was really fun. There's also this eatery where they have really good fried chicken. They have this special dip that really tastes so good and affects like the overall taste of the fried chicken. It was really good. And again, it's also really cheap. I think it was around 40 pesos. So imagine it's like year 2018, 2019, and you still get to buy a 40 peso meal. I used to study in the city, like around Pasig area, while I was in high school. So while I was in a high school, in the school cafeteria, you can no longer buy any meal that's 40 pesos. When I was in high school, like the meal is around 60 to 75 pesos only. But like when I started working in Batangas, there are still little restaurants and eateries that serve really good food for 40 pesos, and that's a meal. And so that was really fun. Okay, this episode is not about the food that I ate, but yeah, I really, really loved that part of my corporate life. Batangas is known for their kapeng barako, right? So there's this eatery that serves like freshly brewed barako every single day, and each cup is just like 5 pesos. It kind of compensated for the fact that my salary that time wasn't as high. So my cost of living was also kind of low. So in a way that was fine. But then as a girl with lots of dreams and lots of things on my wish list, I really had to step out of that space. But that's a different story. Going back to the Kapeng Barako, there was this time when we had to work long hours, and what my office mate did was he brought like four clean canteens, really big clean canteens, and asked the eatery to fill it up with kapeng barako. And then we had those four clean canteens supporting us while we were out there like slaving away. I think we ended up staying in the office for until 10 p.m. because we needed to finish something. I remember those four clean canteens were keeping the fire burning for us to actually finish the work. I also remember the palpitations. I also remember like after work, when we have the chance to like get off work earlier than usual, we would head out and choose a local bar just to blow off steam. And we talk about the people that we're currently working with, like the projects that we're working on, release more rage and how everyone and everything is annoying. Yeah, well, it's rare that we get sentimental because these group of people are not the sentimental kind. They're just like the angry millennials who kind of are looking for something more with the work that they're doing, but we rarely get sentimental. But on the occasion that we do, we would always like say stuff like, is this the job for me? Or is this the career that I'm going to spend the rest of my life on? Yeah, those were like fun conversations. I guess for my other friends, they just saw that as like a ranting session. But for me, it was like an awakening moment. There's got to be more than this. But anyway, again, that's not the point of this podcast. Also, I remember something like one of the things that I really, really miss in an office setup. I love it when I'm not involved because when I'm involved, it's a different story. But like one of the things that I really miss are the passive aggressive email wars. Like, have you ever been caught in a passive aggressive email war where you were copied and then you see your boss or somebody, they're just fighting using like corporate speak, and it's so fun to watch and it's so passive aggressive and but the burn is so bad. Yeah, those are like really fun times. And while I definitely do not miss office politics, I don't miss the long unpaid work hours, I don't miss the commute. Yeah, I do miss the office drama a little bit, but as a remote worker, I'd choose this job over anything else. Like, I miss my friends. I miss the good food. I miss getting to dress up. I miss getting to wear makeup. I miss the passive aggressive email wars, but I would still choose this job over anything else on any day. But I have to say that as an extrovert, it can be really lonely. My husband does not work from home, so sometimes when I'm at my peak extroversion season, when he leaves for work and I'm left in an empty home, that's when it really sinks in that, oh shit, this job is freaking lonely. Like sometimes when that door closes and then everything suddenly feels quiet and the house feels bigger than usual. And then it's so quiet, it's so silent, and you're left alone and you're like, yeah, this is my life now. And while, again, I'm truly grateful because I love my job, I love what I'm doing now, it can get really lonely. And I know that I made some really good friends online whom I get to talk to virtually all the time. And I also have my team whom I get to talk some stuff about. It's still different. Like, I need human connection. And so last year, when I had the chance to travel with my business besties, I really made sure to make most of that time. Aside from traveling with them, I also went out of my way to meet some of my longtime online friends whom I only ever get to talk to on Facebook, Instagram, and I made sure that I get to meet up with them in real life. And it was really fun. The vibe was definitely really vibing. As what Travis Kelsey loves to say, man, it was electric. But yeah, no, I mean, really, it was. It's just different being with like minded people in real life, not on the screen, but in real life. Like when you don't just read the LOLs, but actually hear the laugh out louds. And when you don't just read business advice on WhatsApp or in any messaging platform, but actually see how the person gets excited talking about strategy. Like it really is different. And I'm really lucky because I have unintentionally sort of formed a small community in this side of the internet who also craves that human interaction, that human connection, which is basically how the Purposeful Pause came to life. So, if you haven't heard about it yet, my friends and I decided to organize a community meetup and give back activity where we invite some of our online friends, share some of our expertise, and at the same time support a cause that we really love. So this event came from two desires, really. Number one is we wanted to see more people in the flesh. We wanted to hang out, exchange knowledge, network, all that stuff. And the second one is we have always wanted to do more than what we are already doing in the sense of giving back. I know we're kind of giving back in a way with our clients because we pour our heart and soul into the work that we are providing for them, right? But we have also been wanting to serve people beyond that. And since we are all education advocates, we wanted to partner with a charity that sends kids to college. And yeah, that's basically how the Purposeful Pause came about. I'm so excited because as an extrovert, I really wanted to meet you guys. And I feel like I've been stuck in my little home office for far too long already. But yeah, by any chance, if any of you are free on Feb 24th, I'm inviting you to join us and support the cause. If for any reason you couldn't go but still want to support the cause, I'll be leaving links in the show notes on how you can do that. But yeah, going back, I'm curious, do you also miss going to the office? And which part about going to the office do you miss? Do you miss like working in the corporate setting, or are you like me who just misses the office vibe and all things non-related to corporate work? Or are you that person who found a safe space in remote work? Like you'd prefer being in your home office than going out, than having to meet with people and all that. I mean, I totally get it. There are introverts and extroverts, right? But I'm just curious and I'd really love to know. So there's going to be a poll in Spotify. So after you listen to this episode, please do answer that poll. I'd really love to know your answer. And yeah, I guess that's all for this episode. I know I kind of ranted and rambled on about some of the food that I ate and all that, but I just really miss those moments, I would say. Yeah, I can't believe that I'm saying this out loud, but yeah, I do miss going to the office. But I love my job here now. So, and I guess it also goes without saying that if you're based in Cebu or if you ever find yourself in here, please do reach out. I'm in need of real life friends. You could grab a coffee, grab whatever, and then maybe just hang out and chill. I'm really nice in real life. I don't bite. But yeah, that's all for this episode. See you all soon. And in the next episode, I'm bringing my first ever non Filipino guest. So that's something that you have to watch out for. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And yeah, I'll see you again in the next episode.